Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Video Gamers Podcast. They say you should never judge a book by its cover, but they never said anything about video games. I am your host, Ace, and joining me, he's a connoisseur of the refined world of indie games and their many art styles. It's John.
Hey, I have to say, have you ever not judged a book by its cover?
You know, honestly, when they all look the
That's
same
like
at
the
this
primary
point,
thing
no
I
point.
judge a book. I guess
They
the
all have the
primary.
same art styles.
That's true. That's true. This is just me coming from the CD shopping era of this world, but I absolutely judge everything by its cover, including books.
Oh, the cooler the CD cover was, you're like, yep, this is the one.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like thinking about it though, like the books, like all of them look exactly the same, and they all have the same like 3 words in them, like cursed, prince, thorns, roses.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah. We now know what kind of books you read.
No, okay, wait a minute. All right, I've messed up. I've made a mistake. I'd
Got
like to redo. And of course, his artistic prowess ended back in kindergarten, where the closest he ever got to painting a masterpiece was a finger-painted hand turkey. It's Ryan.
That's low, man, because I did do one of those, and it was really good. Also, I'm no Picasso, but I'm an okay artist, man.
You are. I just like to poke fun at you.
I
Because
know.
It's great.
That was a
And
solid
watching
one.
you squirm about hand turkey is pretty great.
That was
Turkey.
that was a good throwback because my son just did one of those, like, you know, they always do them every year, you know, when they're little. So
Oh, yeah.
Did you lie to him and tell him it looked good?
Oh, yeah. Let me
dude, the
put it on the fridge.
the amount of art my kid brings home and my wife tries to save, I'm like, what are you gonna do with this? One, this is horrible. 2, you know how much we already have? We have a wall that's covered, and I'm like, honey, we got to rotate these out and just kind of discard the old ones.
Yeah, exactly. This is a rotating collection. That's
Yeah.
the thing, is that kids are like little hoarders, man. I mean, like
Oh,
they
yeah.
just want to keep every little thing, and it just ends up being in a box forever. And
Yep.
Yeah, no. My mom, she's got everything I've ever drawn or made somewhere in the attic in a tote. And she like will bring them out to me and show them to me. It's like, you remember when you made this? And I'm like, no, I don't.
No.
Why do you have that?
What? That was me? That's horrible.
yeah,
You should have thrown that away and told me to do better.
this is why I prefer dogs to kids. Like, dogs don't hoard things, and if you ever get tired of them, you can just eat them.
Whoa.
That's a joke, everyone. Before you start blowing up the comments, that is a joke. I like dogs.
That
They
John
are
guy on the
delicious.
podcast is my least favorite. He wants to eat dogs.
Join the club.
But guys, we've got a very exciting episode today. The artistic intros were not just for fun. They have very much to do with our topic, where we're talking about indie games and how their art styles really help them stand out amongst, you know, all the AAA games and things like that. One of the things we've always pointed out is how 2 things make indie games truly unique. And that's the music and the art style.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do you guys have any indie games particular that always stood out to you because of the art style? And maybe you wouldn't even picked it up if you didn't see that art style first?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but Gris, G-R-I-S.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, what a poetically beautiful visual game. I mean, that is like candy, visual candy. Absolutely gorgeous. I probably wouldn't have ever picked it up if not for the art style. And it turns out it's a freaking blast of a game. Just gorgeous. Journey would be another one.
Journey's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. There's certainly one on the list that you have here that would qualify for that. But I don't know. I think one of the strongest appeals for indie for me is the diversity of art styles.
They don't
What about
need
you,
to
Ryan?
go for realism because they can portray a realistic world through that art style. And that's really says something about the quality of the games they put out,
Yeah.
Agreed.
at least to me. Starting off, though, I want to talk about a little game called Ultros.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ultros is fantastic if you've never played it. But Ultros has a very psychedelic neon punk world that you can explore. And it's a Metroidvania. But the art style tricks you into believing it's a more violent Metroidvania than it is.
Oh. I never played Ultros.
Ultros is a Metroidvania that has very little combat, basically. There is combat,
Oh.
but it's a very light element. There's way more to it. It's a time loop that you're going through where the goal is not to beat the bosses and destroy the planet and the enemies and things like that. It's to reconnect the world with the nature around it.
Oh, okay. That's unique.
And you don't know that until, you've already killed some things.
You're like, I'm gonna
feel
knock
really
this
bad
out.
about it.
So what you're saying is you just spoiled the game for everybody who might be interested in playing this. Thank you, Ace.
Yeah, you know what? You've had time.
Yeah. It's over. Time's up. You know, what this reminds me of is if you're like an 80s kid and, that friend that had the older brother and you'd like go into their room and it was dark and they had those like black
light
posters.
Yeah. That was my room.
They're like exactly. And it's like the velvet or felt looking black light poster that has the neon green and purple and blue and all those crazy colors. And you're like, we're not supposed to be in here, bro. That's the vibes I get from the look, at least as far as the art style goes.
Dude, you nailed it. Yeah. That was my room 100%. There used to be this like catalog called the Rockabilia catalog that I would like order all my Marilyn Manson paraphernalia from. And my room totally looked like this. That's a good call.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, dude, that's really funny. I would never even thought of something like that.
It smelled like it looked too.
Yeah. Oh, I can still smell it too. No, the art style in this though is very unique. I love it. I mean, even your kind of by your health bar where your character model is and stuff is all kind of crazy psychedelic look to it.
It probably has the hardest to describe art style of everything we're going to talk about today, just because it's so out there and wild.
I just described it perfectly. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, I guess you did technically, but if you
to anyone from this decade or the other decade, yeah,
anyone who's my age or older, I guess.
Dude, Ace, I got to tell you, man, I'd never heard of this game before we prepped for this episode. This looks rad, bro. It's just the visual style looks rad.
Yeah.
It performed super well on launch, and it just kind of fell by the wayside, because the only thing that really stood out to people was the artistic style, and then I didn't really decide to check it out for some reason, which for me, that's what got me to check it out.
Oh, for sure.
I saw this super unique style, and I wondered, how does this lend to the gameplay? And it's perfect once you get to the story, which I will avoid spoiling the story. So there you go. All right, I'll give you that one.
Oh, it looks like they've sold 100,000 copies.
Yeah, they've done super well for
awesome.
themselves. And the soundtrack's also super good, but you already knew that because it's an indie game.
Predictably, yeah.
Moving on from a vibrant world of Ultros, we're going to check out a roguelike called Have a Nice Death. It is a more monochrome, cartoony style game with a sort of Tim Burton gothic flair. You play as Death after he has hired a ton of like demons and things like that to do his job for him, and he's gotten super lazy, and all the paperwork is just piled up where everyone's collecting souls and he doesn't have to do anything. You get tired of doing the paperwork and decide, you know what? I'm going to go straighten everyone out in this company and get myself back on top. And it's absolutely crazy that this game is so underrated, honestly.
How long has this thing been out? Oh, okay, since 23.
Couple years.
Yeah.
And like, have you heard anyone talk about this game?
No.
Ever? No.
I have, but
have
this is in my circle.
Yeah.
This is in my interest, like when you mentioned Tim Burton,
yeah,
this is how you execute a Tim Burton like. This is really good. This feels like it has heart and purpose and an identity. And so anybody out there who's into this sort of like indie, whimsical, more short form horror game, this is good. This is what you're looking for.
Yeah. And I figured it was because the Underworld's portrayed as, a big corporation was what drew you to.
It's funny. Yeah. Cause you've got two of these on your list.
The thing again, I'm going to make another comparison. It looks like, as far as the art style looks, to me, I get a little bit of Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, absolutely.
Early 90s one.
Yeah,
mixed with almost like...
Limbo.
Yeah, Limbo. I was going to say Animaniacs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so, that.
Yeah.
It is very cartoony and satirical in its gameplay.
Yeah, with the way... him getting ready for work in the morning and he's like buffing his skull and then like getting a suit on and then he puts the robes over the suit and then he just like is like just depressed that he's there. You know, it looks it looks good. I'm rewatching the trailer now, and I'm much more interested than I thought I would be.
Yeah,
That's rad. It's a rad little game. By the way, you guys are making me eat all the member berries for this episode, man.
Yeah, but the art style being, you know, stuck in this monochromatic color scheme really serves to when, you know, color does appear from, you know, special attacks or even yourself. Death has, you know, super abilities and things like that you can pick up through the game, and that really stands out because of this art style. And it really serves that really dark and depressing feeling of being in a company too.
Yeah.
Whoa, I don't know what companies you guys have worked for, but working for a company can be a wonderful experience if it's led correctly.
Even if it's like just a bunch of desks and cubicles in a skyscraper.
Attitude reflects leadership, my friend.
All right, buddy boy. I gotcha. You know what? Moving on from the structured and very boring world of Have a Nice Death, we're going to look at a game called Pizza Tower, which is, have you guys ever played the Wario Land games?
Wario Land?
Yes.
don't think
No.
so, no.
And I feel dirty saying that as a
I know.
Nintendo
Okay.
fan.
They
up,
are
Brian.
very much pure chaos, just as Wario himself is a being of chaos. Oh, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I do like pizza.
Oh, pizza's the best.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Pizza
Tower,
is the best.
No, don't you get me started on pizza, because Ryan hates my favorite pizza.
Oh, jeez.
What are you a pineapple guy?
I am. Pineapple does
Oh.
belong on pizza. That's,
No.
Uh,
you know what?
Categorically false.
Show over.
yeah.
Show over yourself.
But no, Pizza Tower is I always want to say ripoff. That's not the word. It's inspired by the Wario Land games.
There you go.
It is the spiritual successor. That is the word I want. Oh my gosh, there it is.
Mm.
And they
Say rip off without saying rip off.
Yeah.
No, don't you do it. It very much leans into what those games were, which was just pure chaos and charging through these linear levels, taking out as many enemies as possible, gathering money, performing combos, and then you get to the end of the level and you run back. And, you know, you just keep doing that over and over again and collecting as much money as possible to change the ending and the outcome. Pizza Tower
Okay.
has the craziest, most absurd art style I think I've ever seen in a game.
Yeah, it actually kind of does remind me a bit more of like those old, 16-bit sort of platform. Like we talked about Animaniacs already, but this reminds me of like the old Aladdin game on Genesis or Rescue Rangers or whatever. It's got a reminiscent style with a little edge.
And, dude, the freaking faces this guy can make. His name is Peppino, by the way. His name is.
That's a good name.
The way
that
you
is
like,
racist.
the way you fight in this game is
Peppino.
yeah, his name's Peppino. What I didn't name him. You play as a chef who's like, his whole business is about to be destroyed by a giant angry pizza face. So he has to run through the tower and try to defeat him. Then the way you fight is you either charge into enemies or you push down to taunt to basically counter them. And every taunt is a new expression or drawing. And he has the most crazy faces ever. And in the art style completely complements the absurd music.
Dude, they took, because it says here, I was trying to think, and it says inspired by cartoons from the 90s.
Yep.
Bro, Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy is exactly.
Oh yeah.
Ren and Stimpy, like
That is
the
the first
eyes
thing
and
that came to mind.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, because that's what popped into my head too.
Because I think, like,
dude, do you remember watching that show? I remember so many times, like, am I supposed to be watching this?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's kind of gross, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the thing with that was like they were never supposed to draw the same frame twice, so everything was always unique in that show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was something like that. And Pizza Tower very much carries that inspiration of everything always looks different and unique and crazy.
Not to mention two of the slides on Steam for the pictures, like screenshots. There's rats.
I knew he was gonna point out the rats.
I don't even have to look, dude. You just leave it out in the open, man.
I make it too easy, man.
Do you have any rat tattoos yet, Ace?
I don't think I have a rat tattoo, actually.
You owe it to yourself.
I
What
do
was
owe
the
him-
band
I'll-
name they came up with you for?
Oh, what was it? It's like
This is Ace and the Obligatory
Ace
Rats
and the
or
Rat
something.
Agenda.
Yeah.
Rat Agenda. Oh,
Yeah.
that's such a kill. Yeah.
Ace and the Rat Agenda.
Yeah,
Just a
everyone's-
trash punk band.
Everyone's waiting on the T-shirts for that one.
I
There
love
you
it.
go.
But moving on
Yeah.
from the chaos that is Pizza
Well, I
Tower.
want to note
Oh, yeah.
one more thing
Oh,
with
yeah?
this Pizza Tower game. It has like phenomenal reviews, man. I've
See,
never played
people
this,
love it.
but like,
People love it.
I looked
Speedrunners
at it
love it.
too. 60,000 reviews. That's
Mhm.
crazy.
yeah,
This
and they're all like
game-
9s and 10s, man.
People freaking love Pizza Tower. They love the speed and the chaos and just the nostalgia it brings back for those who did enjoy the Wario Land games.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Honestly, you'd be surprised what kind of audiences are out there for games that nobody played.
Way to go, Pepino.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on from the chaos and the insanity that is Pizza Tower's art style, we're going to look at Death's Door, which I've mentioned before. It's one of my favorite indie games of all time.
Mine too.
It has
Oh,
a
wow.
much more muted and melancholic art style, very, very reminiscent of Studio Ghibli. And it
Yeah,
serves
And
the
another
narrative.
corporate death game too.
Oh yeah, I guess it's not like it's got a little more color than that, I'd say. But it is another
Yeah.
corporate death game where you play as a crow this time. You're not just death.
Yeah,
You're a crow with a
True.
sword.
true. Or an umbrella.
But I freaking love this game so much, man. It's such a great game, and the art style truly portrays like the story that you're about to go through. I mean, you played it, John. What were your thoughts when you first booted it up?
I did. I love it. It has everything about indie games that I like. It captures you immediately with the mood and the look and the sound, and then the gameplay was. I don't know if you'd call it. What would you call the genre? Is it Souls-like? I don't know.
Zelda-like.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But it's got great humor. The enemy character design is fantastic in it, man. You got like these big, like castle monsters and stuff that you're fighting. And,
Oh yeah, enemy variety is insane. Oh my gosh.
the enemy variety is really cool, and there's lots of different ways you can tackle it too. Like you can build your character in a few different ways, but enough variety to really make it meaningful. The level design is great. Anything, it encapsulates everything that I love about indie. It felt like just such a unique, enjoyable experience that I could finish in 15 hours or so,
Mhm.
and left a really good mark on me.
That final
Fantastic
boss
game,
is
and you
no
could probably
joke,
pick
though.
it up super cheap now too.
That final boss is no joke, though. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
Ryan,
no.
have you
It's
checked-
it's still pretty pricey.
Oh, really?
Oh
Is
no,
it?
okay.
Well-
these are the combo ones. Never mind. It's $20.
Yeah, it's
That's not
$20.
bad.
I was like, there's
Yeah.
no way Death Store.
Now I was looking
It's
at
a
the other
movie
ones that
ticket.
were like 40.
It's absolutely worth $20.
Oh, totally.
But since we've talked about it, Ryan, have you ever checked anything out about it?
No, not about this game. The art style doesn't like pop out as something I like, but I do appreciate, parts of it. Some of it looks pretty cool to me. Yeah, I don't know how much these just
Yeah,
aren't
it
my
does-
type of games,
I
but
understand. I understand.
Ryan, if
you're
you-
not a man
if
of
you had to
quality
say-
sometimes.
If you had to say, Ryan, one game specifically where like that nailed my like artistic preferences, what would you
Yeah.
say?
like Cyberpunk 2077, something like that.
Oh yeah, Cyberpunk has a great
I-
aesthetic.
Yeah, it's just it's that yeah, that
It's a
or- I mean,
realism art style, but the aesthetic is nice.
yeah, those are more my. I'm an action RPG guy, so I just love those types of worlds that are deep and far off. I mean, even when we're playing Night Rain right now, and like way off in the distance, you see those giant monsters walking, and the
Oh
world
my
is
gosh,
beautiful,
yeah.
and the lava's bubbling, and those are the kind of styles I like.
Hmm.
Yeah, you like to immerse yourself
The expensive
in
ones.
a more expensive, realistic world. You can't dull your mind down to enjoy.
No, I'm not as bad
What
as
if-
Josh though.
No, you're not.
Yeah, he's a graphics hound, which I get,
Yeah.
I get. Just talk me into buying a $4,000 computer.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't talk
Guy.
me into that. I'm glad I built mine.
Yeah.
John's gonna join the PC Master Race.
Yeah.
Ace, well, what about you? If you had to pick a game that like perfectly encapsulates like your favorite artistic style?
Everyone's gonna hate hearing it again, but it's Ender Magnolia.
Yeah.
No, that's a great
That's
that's
fair.
a great choice. It looks
the
gorgeous.
art styles of Ender Lilies and Ender Magnolia. I honestly might lean a little more toward Ender Lilies with its more dark and cell shaded art style, whereas Magnolia took a brighter, more edgy Ghibli style.
Mm.
But they are both fantastic art styles that really portray the world you're in as this melancholic, sad place where you are the last light, and that really stands out to me.
Mm.
But that's Ender Magnolia and Ender Lilies, which I wasn't supposed to bring up again.
Of course, it always happens.
But it's going to keep
good.
happening.
We expect
I
it.
promise.
It's good.
Moving
Anyway,
on.
back to what we were actually supposed to be talking
I was
about.
saying,
Sorry about
moving
that,
on,
guys.
no, I think Death's Door has probably one of the greatest art styles to tell its story with its themes of life, death, the afterlife, and the importance of that stuff. And it really does a great job of being comedic when it needs to be, but also taking a very serious tone when it has to. And if you haven't played Death's Door, why? Come on.
Yeah. Check it out.
I'll be here. Go buy it. I'm waiting.
There you go.
It is worth your time. I understand why I've got like 100 games that I should play, and now I got to add freaking Ultros or whatever to it. But yeah, if you have spare time, it's definitely worth your time.
Oh, absolutely. And moving on to, this is a game actually me and Josh played, but it's Abiotic Factor. It is.
I remember.
Yeah, this is a survival game that takes place inside a secret lab that has an art style very reminiscent to those old retro low poly 3D aesthetics. Almost what's the word for it? Almost Half-Life like in its.
That's what popped
look.
into my head.
Yeah, it's very Half-Life like. But that art style and those muted textures and things like that really lean into the sci-fi horror element of this survival game, where you're trapped in this lab and these monsters are coming through the rift and trying to get you. And it's just super cool. I know like survival games aren't like super your thing, John, but does it stand out to you though as a if I didn't tell you it was a survival game?
I'll tell you, this specific visual presentation gets into like uncanny valley territory for me. Like I love versatile art styles. I love pixel art. I love hand drawn art. That's one of my favorite. So yeah. I love sprites. Like fighting games should be sprites. Full stop. And then I also love new polished AAA, Expedition 33, newer Fallout, Dead Space style, like really moody, great lighting type games or whatever. This specific like frame in time when we're talking like the, Half-Life, like that kind of lower res 3D, there's something about it that just like looking at it, I have kind of like a reaction to. I'll take your word for it. This is, I'm sure, great.
It wasn't really ever scary for me and Josh, I'll say, but I
still
think
$35 on Steam too, man. Come on.
Oh,
guys.
I may have gotten it cheaper from a third party site. But
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. Ryan,
Napster.
You are always talking about Half-Life. So
Yes.
Does it interest you that this game looks like Half-Life and is a survival game that you could play with friends?
A little bit. It almost seems like it would feel like kind of like a offshoot of the Half-Life universe, because it does for sure have that like OG, CS 1.5, the old school original Half-Life look to it. A lot of triangles and weird squares, on everything and stuff. So it definitely has that look. So it'd be interesting. And from what I heard from you guys, I mean, you guys really enjoyed your time, right?
Oh, it was a great time. It was we had a great time because there was two of us and it was funny. But if we ever got separated, it did get scary.
Oh,
because you know firsthand from games like Lethal Company, like you don't need good graphics to have scary monsters.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah.
And this game very much tries to lean into the fact that it has low poly graphics, very reminiscent of the old, N64 games and things like that, where you had horror games on there. Like I guess what was it, Silent Hill? Was that on that was on GameCube or I don't know.
I think so.
I should
please make sure you enunciate horror.
Horror, yeah.
Horror.
It's a family show here.
Yeah,
Clean language show.
How is the because a lot of times too with certain art styles, the music is so important on how they tie that in with the look and the feel of the game. Is there any music in this that matches that type of art style?
Yeah, it's very like low synthy music that really lends
Okay.
itself well to being, trapped in this lab with all these monsters and things like that. You don't want like really loud exploding music. You want
Yeah.
music with games like that. I think you want more music that you don't notice. Like after a
That's
while, like you're hearing it, but you're not.
It's just kind of part of the game.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
looping or something and you're not even noticing. Like it's just part of the game. You're more focused on what you're doing and, what your friends are doing. And it just works well for that immersive experience, honestly.
It's got 23,000 reviews, overwhelmingly positive. So,
It's only in early access too, isn't it?
oh yeah, early access game. Jeez,
And it's-
$35 for an early access. I never get the early access, but I
I-
won't go on for a rant.
Yeah, I would say, well, I'm sure people will find out about all that tomorrow. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Ace, I'd love your opinion on that. So, like, I
no.
have thoughts about the early access type thing or beta release thing, but, like, man, I almost feel like maybe beta is the way to go. But anything, like, we've been talking a lot about games that had these big failed launches, like your Cyberpunk 2077s and your No Man's Sky and Final Fantasy 14 that ended up redeeming themselves. But I have to imagine that the failed launch hurt their overall sales figures, their overall performance, because people just didn't play them.
Mhm.
Would you prefer that games get launched imperfect, or would you prefer these long early accesses?
I do not like buying a game and it being broken. It annoys me to no end, especially like I understand like that's how it was, before. There's like you just got a game, it's like, well, no patch. Oh well.
Yeah.
But we do
Oh,
have solutions
man.
to that now. I think early access really does benefit, especially like smaller developers who might need the income to keep developing the game. But if you're just running an early access for like over 2 years, you're not running early access anymore. You're just wasting my time.
For sure.
Just
I would agree with that. Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's-
It's okay to a point.
That's why I don't like it. I mean, that's what they're doing now. Basically, every game is an early access game, even if it's full release, because every single one of them will have a patch on day one. Then in like a couple weeks, they'll have another patch to fix the other issues. They just did a bunch of like level scaling and certain stuff for Night Rain. Like, how do they not? I just don't get how
AAA
they.
game. You would think they did like beta test for that game. They
Yeah, like
ran
why?
that
How can
through
you not
tests.
figure this stuff out in the betas? To me, it's. I mean, and even we were even running into some issues last night.
I was
playing.
lagging like crazy.
Yeah, it was lagging and weird kind of texture glitches
Could not believe
that
it.
were happening. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the. We got way off the rails on that one too.
Yeah, apologies, listeners. But if you didn't know, we are streaming now. So come check out our Night Range streams.
Yes,
Over on
yeah,
Twitch.
definitely. We're on Twitch.
Yeah, doing pretty well there too, guys.
Yeah,
we-
man, already an affiliate. Woo!
Yeah, already an affiliate, but come in and say hi. We've done it every night since we started last week, but that may not
Addiction.
continue. But we're pretty hooked on Night Rain, so definitely check us out.
Well, fellas, I think we're running low on time here. So I just want to ask, do you believe that the art style of a game can truly convey its world if it's not realistic?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I prefer it's not realistic.
I do too.
I prefer the fantasy presentation. I prefer the skewed reality.
I think it's easier to immerse me in a world that's not ours if you're telling a story that's convincing enough. If you've made this art style very coherent with the music and the characters you put in it, it really does work well. And indie games, you're the best at it. Keep doing it.
For sure. No, absolutely. Yeah, there's something because it is different. Because if it is super realistic, you're gonna it's not real. Something's off, and your brain tells you that. This you can kind of just disperse reality and okay, I'm in this world now. This is obviously not Earth. These aren't humans. This is totally different, and you can get sucked into that and enjoy that world. So yeah, it is cool, and I love the art styles of indies and how I've played more indies than I ever would have otherwise because of playing them with you, dude. So
Yeah.
like it's cool. I've grown to love some of the stuff that I never would have looked at before.
It's amazing. Well,
So
before we close out the show, John, you want to tell people where they can support the show?
Boy, would I, Ace. That would be my honor. So Everybody out there, number one, we talk about it all the time, but our Discord is truly the best community in gaming. You can find a link to that community in our show description. You can also find it on our website, videogamerspod.com. Please come join us. We've got 1,000 of the merriest people, merriest gamers in the world that are all very supportive. We got 1,000 people, and I can't remember the last time we've had to boot somebody out. It's very stern,
ages.
no jerks policy, and we've never had to enforce it, thankfully. If you feel like supporting our show in a very material way, we have a Patreon. Again, information for that is in our show description. That comes with some really cool perks, including that are exclusive to our Patreon members, and some more really cool stuff coming. As Ryan and Ace mentioned, we are now live streaming, so please find us on Twitch. That's a really good time. Ryan is going through this uncomfortable evolution of trying to figure out the Souls-like genre in a rogue-like format, I guess. Yeah. And I want to say, especially, whatever you do, please take a moment to stop, look down at your phone, open up your podcast player of choice, and follow us and rate us 5 stars. As an independent show, it goes such a long way to keeping the show going and helping us find new wonderful people like yourselves. Please take a moment to do that.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. And you know what? Indie games are beautiful, but not as beautiful as you. So until next time, happy gaming.
See ya.
Toodles.